For those of you who may not know, I am the author of a series of books called the Fandom Menace Volumes. I am documenting the use of entertainment as a platform to espouse divisive rhetoric for people who are self-loathing, who hate themselves, who want to live in a world where they feel oppressed, any kind of validation for their shortcomings or their hateful worldview. They protect each other and themselves and the games, comics, television, and movies who help to validate their false perception of the world. We've seen this time and time again for the last 10 years. People in the journalistic community, journo activists, if you will, pressing their agenda, pressing lies against customers, consumers, fans of different genres. And they are almost always protected by shills and access media who they themselves have a narrative to press. They need to be involved in the oppression Olympics, that there has to be something pressing down upon them, an excuse to validate their fear. We see this time and again because the types of people who make games like The Last of Us Part 2, Neil Druckmann, also share that same ideology and use their game as a platform to press it. They seem to gather these types of fans. We've seen this again and again in many of our different entertainments. Games, comics, television, and movies. How producers, creators, writers, these people protect one another, protect their narratives. They try to boost the game, try to boost the outreach of terrible forms of entertainment that are not created to entertain, to allow you to escape. They're not created to give you a good story. They are made to shame you in some cases or indoctrinate you in others to a very toxic, awful groupthink of the far left. I document these things in the Fandom Menace volumes. I take little snippets of what has been happening in our entertainments and build for you as much of a complete story as I can of the infection of this extremist ideology and those that it validates. It does validate some of them in the way that they are allowed to espouse their stupidity, their hate. They can say the most nasty things and get away with it because they support a certain belief system or a certain ideology. This is a time that I hope people will learn from in the future. I hope that we learn to come together and unify as we were before the woke invasion of our entertainments, instead of allowing these types of people to exist. Now, I'm going to go over one of these types of people today. I'm not telling anyone to message this person, to go after this person. No harassment. We are not cancel culture. We're just the common sense crowd pointing out the hypocrisy of the shills in the access media. Because if you were a shill in the access media, you could say things like this, no repercussions. So this is a story about a content creator called BrokenGamezHDR. Never really heard of this person before today until it popped up into my feed. Now, normally I don't get involved in people fighting on the internet. There were a couple quips at the beginning of this that were thrown around that, hey, all of us should be able to handle, and we're going to go through that. So an account by the name of That Guy 310 started out with a tweet saying, "Dude here has no eyebrows, losing sleep over The Last of Us Part 2, winning awards." Okay, I mean, that's funny. I talk crap on my own friends. We could talk crap on one another. That's not an issue. But if you are a person who has not been following Neil Druckmann, Naughty Dog, the kind of shenanigans that they have been throwing at anyone who had a single issue with their game, copyright strikes, trying to take down people's channels, that is an issue. In supporting that, you can be ignorant of it. If you're ignorant of it, then you are. I hope you educate yourself and understand just how terrible, how gross of a misuse of power that is. But if you do know about it and you still don't have a problem with it, honestly, I don't give a damn what you think. That's my opinion. Just like you have yours. BrokenGamezHDR responded with, "Imagine a game having you so butthurt that it has you buying, selling t-shirts saying F the studio, rent-free and mind effed." Now again, if Broken Games has no idea what's been going on, because I've looked at his content on his YouTube channel, he is what I would consider pro-industry, access media possibly, definitely kind of shilling. I've watched his video on The Last of Us Part 2, definitely hating on the customers and siding with the studio. But that's fine. You're allowed to do whatever you want to do. If you want to be a sellout, that's fine. But I don't know at this point if BrokenGamezHDR has any understanding that Naughty Dog, Neil Druckmann, was playing some really nasty games. I don't know that. The responses to this conversation have been very telling. Now, Ryan Kinnell of RK Outpost, whom I know, he does not back down. He does not kneel. And he is more of a fighter. Way more of a fighter than a flighter. So he came back with, imagine getting 500 views on a video with an 80,000 plus sub channel. Or imagine that your channel was actually relevant enough that Naughty Dog false copyright struck you and tried to silence you. But let's be real, you probably just bend over and take it like a B. And that really is the point here. Because any detractors, just like the access media, just like these production companies, just like a lot of these people in woke Hollywood and woke entertainments, will come after you if you think outside the group, if you have an opinion that isn't sanctioned by group speech. And they will do whatever they can to destroy your financial viability. That's what SJWs do. Ryan goes straight to the point. He looks at the interest involved in this situation. Ryan's channel, in a lot of ways, built its subscriber base by talking about this issue, speaking out for the fans, against people who are trying to use our entertainments as platforms to espouse propaganda, hate, division, segregation, ists and isms. That's how he built his audience. So he understands this subject matter, and he tries to point that out while also being, a jerk at the end. Let's be real, you'd probably just bend over and take it like a B. But that's his position. Nobody's being hurt at this point. This is just bantering between one another. No problem with that. Broken Games comes back. Imagine making this many videos over a video game that has you ass hurt, who's completely disregarded what the information is, what has happened. I don't know if he is ignorant to it, is not reading what is being said, has not done his research. I don't know. And like I said, I've watched his content a little bit. I watched his Last of Us 2 video. He does seem to side with studios against the customer. So he might very well be a shill. I don't know at this point. On a scale of 1 to 10, how do you rate your virginity incel level to be obsessed like this? Now we're definitely getting into that, and he's using the buzzword, the SJW buzzwords. I mean, he is from New York, so there's a high probability that he is one of those people. I also got a career broke boy, so nothing to do with anything in the conversation. He's now bringing up anything else but this conversation. YouTube ain't my life. I give an F about what you talking about, Roach. He has no real defense. That now he's definitely bordering on shill. It's just insult after insult after insult. But he's probably going to be excused of this behavior due to his skin tone by the company, because, you can't punish certain people due to their skin tone, because that would be racist. You've got to approve of any type of crap that tumbles out of their mouth, any kind of insults, any kind of projection, because that's the world that we live in. That's 2020. That is woke entertainments. Mara Jade of YouTube channel Jade Shadow. Imagine being so butthurt yourself that you have to claim how butthurt Ryan is. Here, this should help. By the way, get your F Naughty Dog merch here. Nothing too bad, right? It's a butthurt report form. This is Mara Jade. There is a level that I believe certain people who are defending customers, defending real critics, not shills, not access media, but actual criticism of games and the people that create them. There is a level that they will go to that doesn't cross certain lines, certain insult lines. At this point, we have seen those defending their position not crossing that line. And we have seen Broken Games just go straight to insult after insult after insult. He thinks he's a badass. He thinks he's a tough guy. He's not really a tough guy. He's a keyboard warrior. And that's fine. You could be a keyboard warrior. A lot of projection coming from Broken Games, but we're going to see just how much more projection this guy has in him. Broken Games responds with, take his meat out of your mouth. He is a grown man that can speak for himself. Well, nobody else can defend anyone. Your friends can't come in and talk, even though this began with a retweet from one of his friends that he was commenting on. No one else can have an opinion. You think outside the group think. Now we're starting to get an idea of who Broken Games is. He might have a broken dick. He won't be a best friend for defending him, you lame. And he can't speak English, so I don't understand. His grammar's pretty bad. We see here the true mental midget coming forward. We see this is the shill media. In insults that have nothing to do with the argument being had. He thinks that he is really tough. This guy reminds me of the Lonely Banter, and we know what happened to him. Ryan Kindle then responds with, imagine making videos that people actually want to watch. It's sad for you that I make more money with my actual career and on YouTube than you do. Bitch. Ryan, again, is not crossing a certain line. Broken Games has already crossed that line. He's insinuated a lot of things. He's made a lot of insults. He's also spelled it very badly, as if that is tough. But Ryan doesn't cross this line. Ryan pretty much remains at the facts of the matter. And if we look here, this is Broken Games' YouTube channel. If you enjoy this dude's rhetoric, if you enjoy this content, I will leave a link to his channel in the description below. Although I ask no one to go over there and harass anyone, I'm just leaving it there because I am mentioning him. The Last of Us Part 2 review, which came out 4 months ago, has 8.7 thousand views. I mean, that's a decent amount of views, but for an 87,000 subscriber channel, doesn't show much interest. That's a pretty bad ratio, in my opinion. And here we over at RK Outpost, which 38.3 thousand subscribers, his video which released 22 hours ago talking about the golden joystick, which doesn't mean anything. Let's be real. These award shows at this point, any kind of award at this time in history, doesn't favor the customer. It doesn't favor gameplay. It favors ideology. So that really does not matter. But in 22 hours, he's had 10,000 views. More views with one video than Broken Games HDR has had in 4 months. So there is absolutely, in my opinion, a difference in want for Ryan Kindle's videos and Broken Games videos. And Ryan Kindle here has basically pointed that out. A little bit of an insult there, but not much. They want to, Broken Games says they want to watch it because they incel social this guy I can't even. Whoo, man, this guy didn't go to school, did he? They incel social rejects like you and need something common to hate to help you sleep better at night, laughing my ass off. You run a refugee camp for asshat losers mad at video games. Dude, go back to school, bro. Just listen. Do a little bit of reading. Listen to some audiobooks. You need a little help with your grammar in English. Just a little bit. Stephanie of YouTube channel My Nerdy Home. Imagine not having to imagine that those shirts sold like crazy, and every time you all get mad, that's just one more sale. True, right? It's not coming at any, just stating facts. This is the problem with SJWs, far leftists, people like Broken Dicks HDR. They rationalize via emotion, not facts. It's all about emotion to them. It's not about what reality is. They have a narrative to press. Broken Dicks has a narrative to press. And Stephanie just shout out some facts. His response to this is simply that. That's his response. He doesn't have a response. He doesn't have one. He's been put into a corner. This is a shill media critic who has no response. He then begins to get angry and upset. He apparently visited Ryan Kindle's channel, found out how many views Ryan's gotten, how fast his channel has been growing, the intense fan base of fervent, loyal subscribers that have come and helped to protect fellow gamers, fellow customers, and fellow critics from people like Neil Druckmann and Naughty Dog. Broken Dicks thinks this is mental illness. And that's fine. You're allowed to have your opinion. At this point, your argument isn't looking very good, though, sir. Steph continues on, this dude only blocking people on Twitter with large followings so it can look like he is winning at defending The Last of Us Part 2 and Naughty Dog while trashing Ryan. What an effing soy boy. Yeah? I understand, guys. I started this video out trying to be fair. With the lack of a real defense to this person's position and defaulting back upon just trashing someone, just insulting with nothing that has any relevance to the topic, to the subject matter being debated, pretty much gives us an idea of the mental ability Ryan and Mara and staff are dealing with at this moment. And it's not looking good. His response, I haven't blocked anyone yet, laughing my ass off. I haven't blocked anyone yet, laughing my ass off. You don't. Damn it. Oh, I can't even read this, because this guy can't write. His response, I haven't blocked anyone yet, laughing my ass off. Don't you got someone to spend time with today, you online defending another man that ain't even blowing ya back out? This exactly why you lonely now. Is this lonely banter? Is this the lonely banter? Is this where he went? I have to imagine. This guy is a moron. He is a moron. He thinks he's funny. He thinks he's quippy. Thinks he's on top of his game. Your game sucks, bro. Your English is awful. Oh God. So basically, there's more to this, but there's no point in going further. Y'all see how this conversation has led. It began with a simple retweet and some banter, which is fine. People banter, which then led into this person working in the access media showing who he is. You understand, this is the type of fan that Naughty Dog under Neil Druckmann has brought in. These are the types of defenders that they've brought in. This is the type of fandom that is generated by woke entertainments. People who can say anything they want. They can be as insulting, toxic, terrible, awful people that they want to be. And they will be protected by the access media, by fellow shills and journo activists. This is what we are fighting. This type of loser attitude. And it doesn't matter if I get blocked at this point, BrokenGamezHDR, because I've already gotten enough clips, enough screenshots of what I need to add you into the section of my series that's going to talk about woke entertainers, shill media, access media. Thank you very much for showing who you are and helping me to complete a story about the types of morons, the types of low education, low information, barely literate people that subscribe to woke entertainments. So, I will leave a link to the YouTube channel for Broke Dicks in the description below. And if you're interested, I'll also leave a link to Ryan Knill, RK Outpost. Go check him out. And you know what? I ask you, Broken Dicks needs some help. All right, he needs some help. This Last of Us 2 shill-ass video came out 4 months ago, 8.7 thousand views. He needs some help. He got 87,000 subscribers, right? Less than a tenth of his subscribers gave a damn about The Last of Us Part 2. He needs that. Meanwhile, you can go over and check out Ryan Knill's RK Outpost channel that is blowing up. 22 hours ago just came out. He got 10,000 views on his video about The Last of Us Part 2. He's also got a lot of other great content calling out woke media, calling out the types of narratives that Broken Dicks likes to protect, likes to reinforce. So, I'm going to give you both of these opportunities. I'm going to give you both of these links so that you can check out who you would like. Thank you very much for stopping by. I am author Stephen Walton, the Fandom Menace historian, your historian, born in the chats of the High Council with my brothers and sisters, fighting for our modern mythologies. Wash your hands, wash your ass, be good to each other. Peace.
The main thing is to protect these characters. Make sure that they still continue to live in the way that you created them. And that the universe of Star Wars continues to grow.
By 2018, far-left extremists in Hollywood had been perverting long-established, profitable science fiction properties as platforms to espouse divisive social propaganda. The vision of these creatives was to repurpose established franchises in the hopes of indoctrinating viewers into the bigoted groupthink of the American far-left ideology. Insanely wealthy producers and adult pretenders set to shame any fan who would not capitulate to their false narratives of virtue, using long-established weight in the legacy media to drive online hate mobs to attack any who dared speak against the woke narrative. Yet there were those who would not kneel before this oligarchy of money, media, and extremism. Those who had known the truth. Fandom is for everyone. The Fandom Menace Volume 2 covers the events of the year 2018 as a group of independent creators rose up together, inspiring the Star Wars fandom to speak out against the flagrant misuse of a property that was not meant to inspire division, but hope. Volume 2 will cover the voices who spoke out against cancel culture, such as the Gospel According to Mark with a C.
Thank God for Star Wars fans. If only Ryan Johnson had said the same thing.
Mecha Random 42.
Star Trek, to me, is a hopeful, optimistic view of the future.
With chapters written by Stephanie Janisic, Smuggler's Cantina.
They're not answering any questions that the real fans want to know.
Jesse Milestone of Mindless Entertainment.
And I'm going to warn you right now, this here thing you're about to watch is probably going to involve a lot of yelling and a decent amount of swearing.
Itchy Baka of Disney Star Wars is dumb.
But this doesn't explain why, after Disney's acquisition of Star Wars, George would attend the premieres of The Force Awakens, Rogue One, The Last Jedi, and Solo.
And the Overlord himself, Dictor Van Doomcock.
Greetings, my friends. Our pop culture is under assault by corporations who would rather destroy our cultural heritage than build respectfully upon it.
This is an historical documentation of a group of people in the late 2000 teens who would not bow to the very worst in humanity, seeking to separate us along political lines while using our beloved modern mythologies to do so. They did not kneel. Will you? The Fandom Menace Volume 2, Rise of the Rebellion.